Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio. It's Thursday morning. Thursday Night Football tonight kicks off with a banger. Dolphins and Bills, they're in Miami. Is that why the Dolphins are favored?
They are, but a very slight favorite for Miami. They're playing at Hard Rock Stadium, as you mentioned. Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins should be a pretty good ball game. But the fact of the matter remains, Miami is a 2.5-point pick, and the over-under is 49. Buffalo didn't really look very impressive last week, but you know what, Mike? A lot of the teams did not. And there's a reason why they didn't look very impressive. And this is not just the Bills, but this also includes the Chiefs, I would say. And that is because many of the regulars did not play at all in any of the exhibition games. You have to establish a bit of rhythm. The coaches know that, and they also know it's a 17-game schedule, and you don't want to get your star players injured. So you can really make more of a determination on how they're going to do a little bit later on this season. But in terms of this one coming up here, Buffalo and Miami, they're divisional rivals. A win would be very important. Miami needs to shake off their episode, sociologically speaking, from last week, and we'll see what happens.
Hopefully someone's giving Tyreek a ride to the stadium. Both Missouri State and Mizzou have home football games this weekend, but they're not the only ones.
Oh, no, there's a lot of big games going on, and this is early in the season. The Bears do play Lindenwood. That is the home opener. It's at Plaster Sports Complex. Starts at 6 o'clock on Saturday night. Missouri is facing arguably their toughest test of a very young season. They're taking on Boston College, and the BC Eagles are number 24 in America. Nobody expected them to be quite that high, but hey, they've had some pretty good wins. Beat a Florida State team who was very good, or supposedly very good, and Mizzou will play them, Boston College, late Saturday morning, and Missouri is a 16-point favorite. That may be a little bit much, but we'll see. Alabama, and this is pretty rare, Alabama very, very rarely plays in the northern sector of the United States, but they are on Saturday going to Camp Randall Stadium at Madison, Wisconsin, playing the Wisconsin Badgers, SEC against the Big Ten. Alabama a slight favorite in that one. Notre Dame was embarrassed last week with a loss to Northern Illinois. They get a chance to perhaps rev up the engines again when they play an old rival who they have not played in many years. That's because of the shifting in schedules and conferences. It'll be Notre Dame and Purdue. Oklahoma is host to Tulane, and Arkansas is home at Fayetteville, playing Alabama-Birmingham. That won't be as easy as it might look. Razorbacks need to play well in that one, and a lot of other games going on all across the country.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, a lot of action, and my Wildcats play tomorrow night in Manhattan. So that
is a big one, too.
Yeah, big one for both teams. Last but not least, we've all been kind of waiting to hear when Hollywood Brown's going to make his return to the field for the Chiefs. Have you heard anything about that?
Coach Reed said yesterday that it is possible. He didn't give it a real strong possibility, but it is possible he could play this Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think it probably all depends on how the game goes, but I would be surprised if he did. Recovering from a broken collarbone like that, Mike, is not easy, and that's exactly what happened to Henderson in that first of the exhibition games that the Chiefs played. So we'll see if he does come back on Sunday. I kind of doubt it. I think it's more likely next week on the road that he comes back. But nonetheless, Henderson is suited up, and he is nearing the possibility of full-time action.
Can't wait to see it. Maybe it's just a little bit of misdirection from Coach. You never know. Royals, we're looking to make it 2 straight in New York. Were they able to make that possible?
Unfortunately, they were not,
No, they weren't.
And they lost it in the 11th inning. The game was tied 2-2 going into the 10th. Each team did score in the 10th. The Yankees and Royals tied 3-3 going into the 11th. All right, the Royals failed to score. Yankees come up, they get that runner on second base, move him over to third. Royals infield comes in. That's what you do. You play in to cut off that run at home plate. Here's a smash right back to Bobby Witt, who is on the grass, the infield grass. He makes the stop, but the runner was off immediately with a crack of the bat, so Witt had no option but to throw the ball from his knees. That's really tough. It was a wild throw. I think the guy would have been safe anyway, but nonetheless, Yankees win 4-3. Does it hurt Kansas City a little bit because it drops them now to 4.5 back at the Cleveland Guardians, but the Royals are still in very good shape as far as a wild card's concerned. They prefer to win the division title, but that's becoming less and less a possibility with only, for Kansas City, 15 games remaining. 4-3 Yankees.
St. Louis Cardinals, how'd they do?
They get a winning hit in the 8th inning from Paul Goldschmidt. It's a base hit, drives in the deciding run in the game, and the Cardinals won over the Cincinnati Reds 2-1. Okay, what does that do for the Cardinals? Well, it moves them back to, or should say up to, 10 games out of first place and improves slightly their position in the wild card, which still isn't very good. Cardinals have 17 games remaining. It was 2-1 Cardinals over the Reds. They play again this afternoon up at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. But 10 games with 17 to go, Mike, that's an awful lot. And the wild card, well, the Cubs and Mets are in front of the Cardinals there. It is not a positive outlook.
Not a good one for St. Louis, but a really good one for Springfield, at least for their postseason.
They are playing out the string now. They are the Springfield Cardinals. They know fully well they're in the playoffs. They're going to play next Tuesday in Little Rock, Arkansas against the Arkansas Travelers. That'll be the first game. Then take a day off and then come back a week from tonight to play Game 2 of that series, and if necessary, a Friday night Game 3. All right, it's the Cardinals and the Springfield Cardinals against the San Antonio Missions. And last night the Springbirds won it again. They're not backing off one bit. Springbirds 2, San Antonio 1 is the final score. And now the staff gets set to close out the season with games tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday, and Sunday, and then off to Little Rock for the first of the championship rounds.
Good luck to our boys in the Springfield Cardinals organization. When does the President's Cup golf tournament begin this weekend?
They are playing, it's next weekend is when they play, and it is going to be in Canada at the Royal Montreal Club in Quebec. Okay, this is an interesting situation, Mike, the way this works. This is Ryder Cup. It's kind of the Ryder Cup, but it's the Ryder Cup in off years. The Ryder Cup is the USA against European stars. This is the President's Cup, and it's the USA against the international stars. So as a result, quite a few Asians are playing on the international team, plus some Canadians, plus some others too. It all starts on September the 26th at Royal Montreal in Quebec. And then on Thursday, they have floorball. On Friday, they have foursomes. On Saturday, 2 rounds, floorball in the morning, and then foursomes in the afternoon. And the singles on Sunday, all the same format as the Ryder Cup. And, of course, the winning squad gets the trophy and the bragging rights and so forth and so on.
Ned, you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on Friday.